had a great, you'd almost swore you'd have to smoke DMT to get together a phrase like the rupture of the mundane plane. Well, but then the organization of the information on these different planes has hitherto been largely thought to be somewhat expressionistic or haphazard, a la the Jungian maps of the unconscious or something like that. I think that there is actually more to be gained by making a strict mathematical model and saying that the shaman is a person who penetrates to a literal informational hyperspace of some sort, and to take it literally in terms of a geometric explanation. Because think about it for a minute. Shamans are primarily, in their Aboriginal setting, they function in three roles. They predict weather. Weather prediction is very important in shamanic cultures. They tell where game has gone. In other words, they monitor the food source of the group and direct the hunting and gathering activities according to the availability of the food. And then thirdly, they cure disease. And this is very important, and they are incredibly adept at choosing patients who will recover. This would be a cynical way of putting it. You know, they are very adept at choosing patients who make miraculous recoveries. Some of you may know the tape recordings of Maria Sabina's mushroom velada made by Wasson, where an 11-year-old child is brought to her, and she says that she won't shamanize for this case, that this kid is not going to make it. And then he doesn't make it. He dies within 3 weeks. Well, if you're a materialist and of the modern stripe, then the only way you can deal with this testimony about shamanism, about the precognitive knowledge of weather and game movement and the miraculous ability to cure, is to deny it. To deny it and say this is some kind of sleight of hand, or they are very closely observant of nature, and they, you know, in other words, some only this argument that denigrates the thing. But I think that when you actually look at the ethnographic data from all parts of the world collected in the field by people who spent time with the Azande and the Kikuyu and the Witoto and the, you know, so forth, the Kyrgyz and so on, the body of testimony of what we would call paranormal phenomenon is sufficiently impressive that another model has to be called into play. And I think it's that there are ways to push the mind by extraordinary pharmacological encounters or stress into a kind of higher dimensional space. This would be sort of like the idea that the indeterminacy that adheres to matter at the quantum mechanical level, the fact that it displays itself as particle or wave, depending on the questions being asked, that fundamental indeterminacy apparently has to be amplified through every level of nature, including the human level, so that when you get to ourselves, the mystery of ourselves is the particulate, finite, and dissolving body, and the intuition of the unseen, wave-like, infinite spirit, the indwelling entelechy that creates the cohesion of the nexus of actual occasions, that is the coordinated prehension of an organic system, right? We'll just stop there. Yes.